Mitchell, are you ready to do the skills tier list?
Yeah, I have my book right here.
Have they done any erratas? Hello and welcome to Necromundown with skills, the skills that kills, or makes you credits, or sometimes makes you not die.
Yeah, skills or make your opponent not kills or make you faster?
Yeah, or kills more.
Kills more.
They're the skills of Necromunda. Now, as people have pointed out, we have talked about these kind of isolatedly, but we never talked about like all of them at once in relation to each other, which is kind of important.
That's actually a good point.
When you have to make choices on which one you're getting.
Right.
Because we do bring this up a lot about skills is this constant opportunity cost.
Yes.
Just a reminder of how skills work. Your leaders and champions get a skill on gang creation or when they are recruited.
Mm-hmm.
Specialists have the ability to get skills, but they don't get one when you recruit them. Sometimes skills compete for space with other things.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they go alongside other things. That's going to depend on your gang. So like legendary names for Orlock, those you get one of those and a skill. You
Right.
don't have to pick. Enforcers, which we just talked about, you have the skills from their skill trees, and you also have the skills from their prefectures, which is why you're never going to pick a skill from a prefecture.
Yeah.
Ever.
Again, opportunity cost.
Right. What we're going to talk about to start with is these are the skills available to, well, not everybody.
Yeah, that's why it's a little weird to talk about these all together, is because every individual gang member has different access to skills. So if we compare sprint and disarm,
Mhm.
like maybe this guy doesn't have access to one or the other or neither.
Right. Because you're every gang fighter and bounty hunter and Drannith Personae and everyone else,
Mhm.
and brutes and sometimes not hangers on, but brutes.
Yeah.
Hangers on will have them on their profile. Has access to given skill trees, and that's not even consistent within the same gang.
Right.
So, but we're still going to do our best.
We're gonna do our
kind
best.
of talk about how these relate to each other.
Mhm.
Combat for when you want to punch things, but not brawn, which is also when you want to punch things. When you want to punch things more artfully.
Artful. I mean, yeah, I guess this gives a bunch of stuff.
It's more about if this is combat brackets defensive.
Yes. All of these, in one way or another, are slightly defensive.
Right. So this is the
So it's melee defense version.
right, as opposed to brawn, which is kind of melee offense version.
Yeah. First up, we have Combat Master. So you just take this one first because this is the combat tree and you become a Combat Master.
Right, yeah, so that clearly means you get all the skills.
Yep, you get every skill. This fighter never suffers penalties to their hit rolls for interference and can always grant assists regardless of how many enemy fighters they are engaged with.
Here's the thing. I can count on like two hands the number of times that it's actually come up.
I agree. I've taken this before when I had combat and nothing else to take, and I've literally never used it.
Yeah.
It's really niche.
Multi-combat in Necromunda doesn't actually happen as often as you think it might
Yeah.
because of the way the activation system works.
And even in the perfect situation, it is either reduce your -1 to hit or give your opponent a -1 to hit.
Right.
Eh.
So D?
I think this one's D.
I don't think it's F.
It's not F. It's not a never take, but man, it's really, really rare for it actually to matter.
Comparing to everything else that we have options
Yeah.
for. Like counterattack. When this fighter makes reaction attacks in close combat, they roll one additional attack dice for each of the attacker's attacks that failed to hit, whether they missed or parried, etc. So this obviously goes very well with parry weapons,
Yep.
because you can force your opponent to miss, and then you get extra attacks.
Yes.
Now, the downside of this one is it does rely on you not getting hit.
It relies on you not getting hit. It also relies on you being the reactor, not the
Right.
charger.
Right. So
So again, super defensive.
you're initially ceding control to your opponent.
Yes.
If you have stuff that stops you from getting hit,
Mhm.
this is pretty good.
Like, for example, dodge.
Dodge. Or there's another thing in here, parry, which
Yep.
lets you
Parry and then parry.
and parry again. Right. And if of course this is only worth using, in my opinion, if you are carrying parry weapons
Yes.
or other things that stop you from getting hit. But like,
It's niche but strong within its niche.
yes.
I think this might be
High C or
High-
low B?
I think high C.
Because it is devastatingly powerful when it goes off.
Oh yeah.
Because you can just get a ton of attacks.
Yep.
And it's kind of a moot killer, because against people who have, weapon skill 4 and might just be charging you to charge you, it's like, oh, well, I'm going to parry you.
Yep.
So your chance of hitting me
I'm
has
gonna
gone down to 25%. And then I'm going to, get double reaction attacks back.
Yeah. Again, very strong within its niche, but very niche.
Disarm. Any weapon with a melee trait used by the fighter also gains the disarm trait. If a weapon already has this trait, then the target will be disarmed at a natural roll of 5 or 6 rather than the usual 6. So disarm is pretty good.
Yes, disarm is very strong.
I almost never build for it.
Yes.
But disarming on a 5 or a 6 would make it actually worth building for.
See, I see stuff like disarm and parry on maybe not maybe not melee fighters that don't want to be charged.
Right. Disarm isn't handy if you're pretty sure that whatever you have is just going to outright kill.
Yeah. Like disarm is kind of useless for corpse grinder cults.
Right.
You're gonna charge and you're gonna kill them, and if not, you weren't gonna anyway.
Right.
I don't know where to put this.
I say again, high C, because like disarm is good, but it doesn't actually help you kill things, but it does help you survive things getting killed.
Yeah. But not even by that much. I guess it depends.
The issue is, I think, is that with skills, if you're talking skills on a low priority character like a ganger or a specialist, then you don't get to pick the skills.
Yeah.
Or a specialist you do, but a ganger you don't. They're random.
Yeah.
If you're putting combat on a champion, he's probably because he's built for combat.
Right.
Which means he's probably going to try and want to kill things over disarm them. But you can't negate the value of being able to disarm something that you can't kill, which again is like hurl with the Ogren.
True.
Like that has some handiness to it. So I do think it is high C, and it is very powerful within its niche. It's just you have to build super specifically for it, and of course it's only good against something trying to kill you in melee.
Yep. I actually particularly like this against against corpse grinder cults.
Yes.
Because their weapons are so much of their damage and they do so much damage. That you charge them first, get the disarm, and they're like, okay, so you're strength 4, hit me.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, I understand. I see where you're coming from.
The flip side is if I have a enforcer with a concussion ram, a Goliath with a renderizer, I'm really hoping I'm just gonna kill that guy rather than disarm him.
And like you said, rolling disarm just normally is you don't have to rely on it, but because if you charge and you don't disarm a corpse grinder cult, you're dead.
Right. Or unless you kill him. That's where my
yeah, unless you kill him.
And the 5 makes it more doable, but it's still not enough to rely on.
Yeah.
So that's why
I like there. Up next is parry, another thing that is just on weapons. The fighter can parry attacks as though they were carrying a weapon with the parry trait, mostly swords. If they already have one or more of the weapons with this trait, they can parry one additional attack. Because normally you get to pick an attack that hit and make them reroll it.
Yep, per weapon that you have with parry.
Yes. So dual wielding chain swords and the parry skill.
You can parry 5 attacks.
No, 3. Because it's 1 per weapon and then parry.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay.
Which, again, kind of like disarm can be good. I feel like disarm might be better.
Yeah, the problem with parrying, this is really counterattack, parry, less so disarm. Disarm is actually really good against people with very good weapon skills because you're disarming them and they can't get around that.
Yeah.
Whereas counterattack and parry are only good against people who don't have a 2-up weapon skill. Because if you make someone reroll a 2-up, the odds are still pretty high they're just gonna hit you again.
Yeah. I agree. I would definitely put this below disarm. It is really funny to parry 3 weapons.
Yes, and I think it is good.
Ooh. I think it's lower than that.
You think it's lower than that? You think it's
I
think I like this less than hurl.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't think it's D.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, because this is handy, but you have to be putting parry things on people. And unfortunately, usually parry weapons are only good on, are expensive enough that you're not going to put them on someone who doesn't need to get into melee.
Well, a lot of the swords are cheap.
Yes, that's
like,
true.
Chain swords cheap. Power swords like 40 credits or whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know. This actually works really well with counterattack, like we said earlier.
Yes.
So I want parry and counterattack on someone dual wielding chain swords, and I'll be the swashbuckling ganger.
Errol Flynn ganger.
Errol Flynn ganger. Up next is Rain of Blows. This fighter treats the fight action as a fight simple rather than a fight basic. In other words, this fighter may make 2 fight simple actions when activated. So you have to start your activation already in melee and want to fight twice.
This one I think does actually have some benefits to it.
Go on.
So, again, usually we think of if you want to kill someone in melee, you're going to charge them and kill them, or you're going to fail.
Mhm.
But I can think of a lot of times in Necromunda when I have been stuck in combat.
That's true.
Like, it does happen with people who have flipping 3-up armor saves or field armor, and they're blocking my attacks, but I'm strong enough that they're not killing me either.
Yeah.
You know, you charge something and you didn't kill in the charge, but maybe it's not going to kill you because you're also really tough. This one, I think, does have some use to it. There's also ways, you know, like someone charges you, which you can't always avoid.
Right.
You know, this would be great on like somebody with a shield that's going to block, and then like, okay, I now get to punch you twice.
You could also use it with bonus actions.
Right.
To be able to like charge, fight, and then fight again.
Right.
It's actually pretty good with versatile weapons because you can get multiple guys in your melee range.
There's lots of tactics cards that give you additional actions like that. That's why I think this is better.
That's fair.
When I think about these in my experience of playing Necromunda, Rain of Blows would have been handy far more than any other combat skill we've talked about.
Interesting. Okay.
Like, it would have come up more. Because even like, you know, remember Mr. Snake, my terrifying combat snake. If he had Rain of Blows, he would have got a lot more kills.
That's true.
Because there's a lot of times when he like tried to kill somebody and like didn't quite kill them, because sometimes you just flub those attacks. And
Unlike like, Combat Master, where it's like, it wouldn't have helped.
Right, right. And it's good against everything. It's particularly good against things that are dangerous. So I personally think this goes into low B.
Okay, I like that.
Fight Simple's pretty good. It's not quite as good as Fast Shot, because Fast Shot lets you shoot from anywhere.
Yeah,
but in the same way,
you don't have to be within an inch.
In the same way that Fast Shot is very good, I can think of a lot. This almost might be 8. I think I'll leave it at low B because I think you're not very hot on it.
I'm not very hot on it.
Okay, we'll leave it at low B.
I've taken it before.
For Josh, this is I think a high B. But all right, last one is Step Aside. Step Aside. If the fighter is hit in close combat, the fighter can attempt to step aside. Yes, thank you. Make an initiative test for them. If the test is passed, the attack misses. This skill can only be used once per enemy in each round of close combat. In other words, if the enemy makes more than one attack, the fighter can only attempt to step aside from one of them. So this is a dodge, but weaker.
Yeah, it's a dodge only in melee, but it's on an initiative test instead of a 6.
Right. And therefore, I think this is either very high A or S.
Interesting. I don't think it's S.
Okay,
I don't think it's S. Because you can only dodge one attack.
Yes.
And sometimes, like, all they need to get through is one.
Yeah, that is true.
So I like A, but I don't think it's as good as S.
Okay. Yeah, it is not as good as dodge.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird because dodge happens on a 6, whereas if you have a 2-up initiative.
Yeah.
And again, I'm thinking about the people who have the combat tree.
That's true.
They often have decent initiatives. This can be incredibly irritating.
Yeah.
Because it is functionally you don't get to hit with one melee attack per your attack.
So this is good against someone with a low number of attacks, but high quality attacks.
Yep.
Whereas dodge is kind of the other way around. It's good against.
And I think you're thinking from the perspective of Corpse Runner cults who tend to have an absolute ton of very good attacks.
That's true.
Whereas I'm thinking from the perspective of a lot of other combat champions who are only going to be, if they're dual wielding, only going to have 3 attacks.
That's fair.
And one of them automatically misses.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty annoying. That's really irritating. Like, okay, I hit you with 2 attacks. All right. One of them misses. Now the next one has to get through wound and AP too.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I am like thinking of adding all these up where it's like counterattack and disarm and parry and step aside and just make someone who's untouchable in melee.
You're Obi-Wan Kenobi in Shirazu form. Just
Also, that's like 36 experience.
Sure. Or that one item from the black market that can give you skills and possibly gives you an aneurysm.
That's true. I mean,
hashtag worth.
We'll take it.
And that's combat, which I think we could pretty easily say is the worst tree so far.
Yeah, honestly, if you'd asked me at the beginning of this, I would have said that
combat's better than Brawn.
Combat was better than Brawn, but I guess with the changes, Brawn's better.
And yet, I think I still would almost. Yeah, when I think about it, I'm almost never excited to see combat either. I think it was just in my head that it was better.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it actually is.
And this is coming from a oh god, who are the rats?
Steven?
Cotter. This is from this is Cotter for me. So this is coming from a Cotter player where all of your champions for some reason get combat and Brawn as their 2 skills and have like a 4-up to hit in melee.
You should be investing more in Brawn.
I should be investing more in Brawn.
Maybe that's why you hate Cotter so much.
Maybe.
Clearly. That's Brawn. Let us know below what your thoughts are. Stay tuned next time for Cunning. We'll see you then.
Bye.